and most hackers are white hat. Either that or they're teenage kids screwing around who haven't grown up yet. Paul Watson, Kurt Nimmo posted it, and it was unconfirmed. And we said, this is unconfirmed. We can't get a response from these universities, but we're trying to find out if this is true or not. Thousands and thousands and thousands of internal correspondence between the United Nations and the main universities that they use to certify their IPCC global warming information, where they say the Earth is going to flood, all the major coastal cities are going to be underwater, the polar bears are going to die, the Earth is heating, it's unnatural, carbon dioxide is a poison, it's not the sun causing it. And the head professor for the UN, he is the main individual they use for all their data of all these universities they have on their payroll. For 5 years, he's refused to give Dr. Tim Ball, who's in my film Fall of the Republic, and other top climatologists, MIT climatologists, you name it. He has refused to give them his data, saying it's proprietary, though it's being used to set up a tax on your house, your car, coal, everything. Schwarzenegger banning TVs above 40 inches, taxing all the others. I mean, total government control. Thousands of new taxes. One-child policies worldwide being called for, because humans exhale 5.5 pounds on average a day, depending on your size, of your cardiovascular system, of carbon dioxide. It's what plants breathe. Then they release oxygen that animals, mammals, insects breathe. Now, over 30,000 top scientists countered the 300 scientists that the UN had in the last 2 years, published papers saying it was a fraud, said this is a complete fraud, a takeover of the carbon cycle, listing life and respiration as criminal. This is a fraud. They got fired. They lost their jobs. Over 90% of college and institutional private research is government funded. There has been a purge. They have said it's like Holocaust denial to talk about it or to discuss it. And Al Gore's major university sources have been caught faking buoy data on Arctic and Atlantic and Pacific temperatures, saying it was hotter than it really was. And they always say it's an accident when they get caught. They've been caught hundreds of times putting out fake data. Ladies and gentlemen, the universities that were hacked now admit they've been hacked. It is confirmed. There are criminal investigations of the hackers, which is wonderful because it only certifies this is real. They admit it's real. And the hackers got all the secret documents. How the big fake environmentalists admit it's all a lie. The Earth is cooling. Carbon dioxide's good for you. And these people knew it the whole time. Now, we already knew they knew. We already knew they were grabbing a hold of industrial society. We already have the UN population reports, 1996 biological diversity assessment, saying it's a way to make humans the enemy, and the Club of Rome and the Council on Foreign Relations reports. We already have the Maurice Strong 1992 Rio de Janeiro Earth Summit, the head of the UN climate program, saying this is a way to shut down human industrial capacity so we can control everybody. But the hackers got all the secret documents. It's in AP. It's in Washington Post. But they're reporting it like it's no big deal. Oh, well, they got caught saying hide data. They got caught, and they kind of whitewash it. But the whitewash is completely devastating. This is absolute nails in their coffin if we get this out, because the AP and Reuters and all this is bad, but it's a whitewash. We have the actual emails and documents, and WikiLeaks has them up on Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Paul Watson, Kurt Nimmo, now that this is confirmed, have huge reports coming out tomorrow. We have them. We have these criminals. Okay, for radio listeners, we have caught the chief climatologist, the main research group at a British university, talking to all these other universities about how to demonize climate skeptics, other scientists going, well, wait, your data's fake. But that's not even important compared to the other news. How to put out fake info and how to cover up the real data showing the Earth has actually been cooling the last 4 years and that the sun is the major driver. Now, the reason hackers hit this guy and this particular university is that he's the main one cited by the United Nations saying the Earth is heating and that the oceans are going to rise and we're all basically dead if we don't pay a tax to Al Gore and the UN. Separately, I have the new EU president announcing 2009 is the first year of global governance and global management, saying they're going to use the carbon tax to control the world. What did Ban Ki-moon 3 Sundays ago say in the New York Times? He's the UN Secretary General in an article titled, "We Can Do It." He said, global government, global governance will be financed and controlled through carbon taxes that will allow us to regulate and control all facets of world life, and all resource management will go through these unelected corporations that control the UN. This is the UN head saying this. Who's the other UN head of the Security Council? Barack Obama. No president's ever served as that. The average American doesn't even know that's happening. That's what we cover in my film, Fall of the Republic, available on DVD at Infowars.com. That's why that film's so important. Because if they get this carbon tax legislation through at Copenhagen, in Europe, and in the U.S., it's over, folks. Total control. They're now trying to pass this in the next month, and it is a godsend that these conscientious white hat hackers who I bow to, I prostrate myself, I thank you, I hail you, oh, you are wonderful. Oh my God, this is so beautiful what you've done. Now, we started reporting on this Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday when it was only on the big hacking sites. Now, AP, Reuters, BBC, they're all confirming, yes. The Washington Post admits it, but says nothing about the lying, nothing about how these head universities with the UN were all colluding and racketeering how to lie and how to persecute scientists and fire them and remove them who were criticizing him. He wouldn't release his data. For 5 years, he refused to release it when the UN was using it as an excuse to say carbon dioxide is deadly and is making the temperature rise. Now, I'm going to read to you the AP article for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. Give them a screenshot right now. For radio listeners, just Google the term or go to smartpage.com and Google the term, search the term. Hackers leak emails, stoke climate debate. Now, even though the AP had to report on this, we need to push and make sure this becomes big nightly news everywhere. Right in the middle of this big man-made climate change global tax push. This headline should be, hackers release emails proving global warming a fraud. Because their emails, which we have up at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com, they were posted earlier in the week. Paul Watson is reposting them. But even though I saw these, and even though they looked authentic and had seals and letterhead, we said, well, this is being reported. We don't know if it's true. It's now confirmed. The university's investigating. The British government's investigating. The U.S. government. The UN are saying, how dare these hackers? This is illegal. How dare them rob us? They are not denying this. This is admitted. Let me say that again. They are not denying this. Now, Al Gore got caught this week by climatologists in Florida. Got no attention on Monday. Friday morning, Paul Watson wrote an article at Prison Planet. Our site's so big, it made national news, got picked up by scores of newspapers. Rush Limbaugh had it as his top headline all day. He sourced Prison Planet, where Al Gore photoshopped a NASA photo, and we got the NASA photo right next to it, and put hurricanes spinning the wrong direction, the U.S. flooded, and he said, oh, this is what NASA says is going to happen. No, Al Gore has been caught fraudulently photoshopping. That made national news Friday. Okay, we are breaking through. Everything we cover now becomes national news. Ladies and gentlemen, there has been nothing we've ever done on the climate issue as important as what I'm about to read. I'm going to read the AP whitewash, and this is devastating. This is red-handed. Now listen, and listen carefully. Give me a close shot of this for PrisonPlanet.tv viewers. Hackers leak emails, stoke climate debate, Associated Press, David Stringer. Computer hackers have broken into a server at a well-respected climate change research center in Britain and posted hundreds of private emails and documents online, stoking debate over whether some scientist have overstated the case for man-made climate change. Now, that should say the devastating emails admit a systematic form of persecution and racketeering against scientists and groups disagreeing with the UN's agenda. In their own internal documents, they admit the Earth is actually cooling and that carbon dioxide isn't causing it. But they don't say that. Go read the actual emails. In fact, later, if I have time, we're going to read some of those. And we're going to be covering this all next week into Thanksgiving. Paul Watson, Kurt Nimmo doing huge stories right now.